You're watching Sci-Fi Saturday. Discussion and analysis of all your favorite sci-fi TV shows. Only on the Anthony James YouTube channel. Hey guys, welcome back to our Star Trek Discovery discussion and review. Well, how did you think about the episode this week, Emmett?
Well, we're going to go through the Looking Glass once more, and I'm very excited for it because I am a sucker for the mirror universe.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm a sucker for mirror universes in anything, to be honest with you. As people who watch my channel should know, I do a lot of stuff where there's alternate realities, alternate timelines, all that sort of stuff. So I didn't expect it to come back in this season. I'm very happy that it did.
Yeah. I expected that we were going to explore at least some more stuff with it because we still have Giorgio around, and as long as we have like one link to the mirror universe, there's always the potential of further sort of links, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So to start off the conversation, then let's talk about the actual opening to the other universe. How do you think the portal got there? Like, why is it there? Who put it there?
Oh, the mysterious door in the on the planet, while being observed by the mysterious Carl. Carl gave me, because Star Trek has sort of had a little bit of fun at very different points in its continuity, playing with the idea of like beings still so far outside of our understanding that like the things that they do appear to be like magic. Like in the original series, they encountered like seemingly gods like Apollo, and then in like Next Generation and onwards, they encountered the Q Continuum, which are like these, the original Q played by is it John Delaney? He these magical sort of creatures that can like snap and change the world around them, and Carl was giving me real vibes of that by like appearing out of nowhere and having this door and being so like mystical. So like I feel like either Carl is the originator of this portal or the guardian of this portal. Yeah. There's something going on with him.
Is that portal a permanent fixture of that area, or is that
it's like it could be like it could be that it can only be visible maybe to, if you have someone from the mirror universe there, maybe you need that sort of connection to it before you can enter.
Yeah, but it was so cool. Like the design of it as like just like a door you walk through. I thought it was pretty cool. And obviously Carl, the little I don't know what you call him, the doorman, I suppose.
The doorman, Carl the doorman.
Yeah, and we should all know that actor from CSI, the original CSI. He's in that. But I thought he did a really good job, and I thought it was really intriguing. Straight away, I was just like, go through the door. Yeah. I don't know why. I really wanted Michael to go through too, but it's. And then I think we had a bit of a clue that something like this would happen, because at the very beginning, weren't they talking about a particular character from an old Star Trek show, and they had like they had his body or something there.
You mean the figure that appeared briefly in the hologram? I don't think he's been a person before, but I think the Temporal Wars have been referenced a lot.
Gotcha. Okay, so I've been so conditioned with this show when they show things like that to assume that we've seen that before in a previous Star Trek show. But
hey, I might be misremembering. You might be right on this one, but like I don't recognize him on that front. He might be a universe sort of worker, but like it is an interesting scenario in the sense of like that we finally essentially get a diagnosis for Giorgio, in the sense of the reason that she's experiencing these weird sort of like physical shifts, which are established more that like her literal body is going out of sync with the universe around her, is because they traveled into the future after she came from another universe. That seems to have something to do with the fact that their universes are getting farther away or something like that. So like it's causing her all sorts of problems on that front.
Yeah, I found that interesting as well. And also David Cronenberg came back, his character. It was, I don't really know what that guy's intentions are. I kind of feel like he did this to her somehow. I don't know, it's so strange, isn't it?
I feel like he's an observer in the sense of like it's kind of like when someone's undergoing an operation and you have those people sort of watching, or like a nature documentary person where it's like they're observing but they're not allowed to interfere. we both obviously loved it, but like I'm in the same boat as you. Of wondering what do you think his sort of end goal, do you think, is going to be in all of this? Does he want Giorgio to like survive, or does he kind of maybe want her to pass away so he has another like subject to work with?
Yeah, it's so interesting. I have no idea. Like this character has only been in a few scenes, and it's sort of a real slow background storyline that's happening. I don't really know. Even in Giorgio's storyline itself, he seems to be a footnote in it. But I think by the end of it, he won't be a footnote in it. I think we're going to find out he's been doing something.
Yeah, there's something going on with this guy. There's a lot of mysterious. He's obviously connected with Section 31, so like he obviously is involved with a lot of shady things. But like, I want to know more about him.
Yeah,
it doesn't hurt that he happens to be played by a very mysterious man in general. So,
yeah, exactly. So there was also a lot of there was a fair bit of stuff going on before they went through the portal. But once they went through the portal, it was just all in the Terran's universe. Like it was all in that other universe. Like even also all the build up we had with Saru getting the message from his people, the Kelpians. That was sort of not really important. Well, it's important thematically because obviously then we go back into the world where Kelpians are the slaves. But it wasn't really important to the storyline of this episode. But next episode's part 2, I suppose. Maybe it's just setting up something for later in the series. But what did you think about the idea of shifting completely away from every character we've been following for the series, and in the second half of this, it was just all Mirror Universe?
Yeah, well, again, this is a Giorgio focused two-parter. It might be, depending on how this goes, Carl's been hinting at the fact that, perhaps Giorgio will die. This might be a final send-off for her, for all we know. We're not sure.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense because, it's Giorgio trying to figure out what's going on, and I wouldn't want that, like, once we're in that, I wouldn't want us cutting away too much.
Yeah.
Because like it's definitely the most fascinating part of the episode. Giorgio in this weird sort of like, time loopy situation that she's trying to figure out how to work her way through.
Yeah, I mean, like the moment, like obviously she finds herself back in the day of the coup, and so that whole sort of idea of being back in her body at that time, I love that. Anyone who watches this channel knows I love anything to do with time travel. Anything to do with it, anything like that. I absolutely really love this episode, and I love that whenever she was like going through the thing, like, oh, this is the day of the Charon, and this is the day of this, and the characters around her are like, as if like they have no idea that she's putting anything together or that she already knows. But like, I love like Michael Burnham, alternate Michael Burnham's face, like so confident up until the very last minute, whenever Giorgio properly like sort of. Sentenced her to death or whatever. She was so confident.
Gets her close shave.
Close shave. She was so confident that she was good. They were going to complete the coup the whole time. Like, and she was like so up herself, like so arrogant. And then Giorgio really just like sort of put the fire to the flame. But I also what I wanted to mention in particular, how cool was the moment whenever Giorgio killed alternate Paul Stamets?
Oh god, that was brutal, but also very cool. Well, like because they've sort of been mentioning this idea, because like we've seen through this episode that Giorgio has been undeniably changed by her time in the Prime Universe. She's been affected and has become less bloodthirsty, less menacing, and like they keep sort of referencing this idea of like weakness is almost like blood in the water for Terrans. So like there's a couple of shots we see of like people reacting to Giorgio, and it's almost like they've caught this scent of like weakness, and like they're all sort of sizing her up a little bit at times, and people are reacting at shock at some of her actions and stuff like that. So it's a very interesting and very tense situation. Like that always feels like it's sort of like pulsing in the background.
It does.
And I did love the parallel, by the way, of like earlier in the episode when like Giorgio, because she's been told she's dying, and a Terran wants to die in battle, like tries to force Michael into a situation, prime Michael into a situation to kill her, but like stops the blade of her sword just at Michael's neck, because again, she doesn't actually want to kill Michael. She just wants Michael to fight her and kill her. And then we get that back in the Mirror universe, where Mirror Burnham has like the blade to her neck, Giorgio puts the blade to her neck and actually cuts her this time, but still isn't able to kill Michael, even this version of Michael who's completely betrayed her. Because she still loves Michael in some level, and it's tough for her. It's a real interesting dynamic for.
Yeah, I find it really interesting too. I thought it was really cool being back in this world and having like Tilly. Like we found Tilly in a leadership role now within the Prime universe, in terms of like being now the first officer and the new number one. But now Tilly is. We see the alternate Tilly again, and this is the sort of dominatrix Tilly, the evil Tilly, who's sort of
Captain Killy,
Captain Killy, yeah. So it's interesting to go back to this Tilly now that we have already had. Well, actually, it was alluded to earlier in the episode because what do you call her? Giorgio said to Tilly, you know, have you had your first disaster where you killed thousands of people yet, or whatever she said?
Yeah, it's like you're going to be responsible for thousands of deaths to occur, and it's like they'll call you Captain Killy.
Yeah, so funny. And then then we actually go and see the real Captain Killy, but I can't remember. Is he in the first season when we had this alternate universe? Was Tilly the bad Tilly? Was she involved in the coup?
No, I think she was placed in a position of authority after the coup. So like I think she is loyal to Giorgio. I might be misremembering, but I think she is loyal, or was at least loyal to Giorgio in the previous.
She just took advantage of the opening, so to speak.
Yeah, well, Terrans are all about that. We literally see like that fight in the hallway over the promotion, where like the two officers are fighting to see who gets to actually go through with the promotion, like literally trying to fight to the death over it, because that's the way that Terrans resolve things.
Yeah, I thought that was really strange.
Yeah.
Imagine being at work and needing to fight someone to get a job promotion.
Yeah, it's like it's like just being like, I guess you and me are fighting John. It's like only one of us can become the senior manager,
and the other one must die.
He must die. There's going to be 2 vacancies once we're finished.
Okay, so where do you think it's going to go next week then?
So yeah, we've been setting up a lot of stuff. Giorgio is trying to change the timeline, or her timeline, in such a way she wants to be able to save Michael, regardless of whether that's possible. Like she sent her, instead of murdering her or executing her at the end, she just sent her to the agonizer, which is like that torture device that they had them in before. So like, it was a funny sort of conversation that she and Prime Michael had on the planet, where the reason that they're both so invested in this relationship is they're both sort of chasing after a ghost of a person who's already gone. Like Giorgio's chasing after her universe's Michael, and Michael's chasing after her universe's Giorgio, even though they're 2 different people. So like, I feel like things have ramped up. I think that the Terrans have sensed the blood in the water, the fact that the Emperor has maybe lost her edge, and I think we're going to see things starting to collapse out from underneath Giorgio, because much like, again, I think it was sort of like a recurring theme to link in with Michael, she's now become a person between 2 worlds herself. In that, like, Michael was between the Federation and her life with Book, and she's resolved that. But Giorgio's now between 2 worlds, in the sense that she doesn't quite fit in on the Terran world, but she doesn't quite fit in the Prime world as well. So
she's not fully turned into a Prime human. Like she's still much too callous for that world. But
she's now too compassionate for the Terran world.
Yeah, it's
she
really
doesn't have the killer, as much of the killer instinct as she was. So I think next episode's going to be pretty rough for her,
Yeah, next episode, as you say, could be her last, if the prediction of Carl comes true. There's not really much else I was going to say about this episode because it is such a setup episode. It's a two-parter, so we don't have everything to talk about. I enjoyed being back in that world. I enjoyed it was a breath of fresh air, if not, but it was, even if it's a bit harsh in that world, I still enjoyed seeing it. Still felt like really nice to be there.
We'd spoken about it previously, but like the aesthetics of the Terran world, they're terrible people, but by God are they fashionable. Those outfits are on point, and Giorgio's Empress outfit with her massive sun-like crown, it's just like the costume department really got to shine this episode, which was always nice. They really got to explore it, and I like the fact that we get to see the cast exploring these like sort of like twisted versions of themselves. So it's just a very fun episode, and I wanna like there's a sword over Giorgio's head at the moment, and I want to see if she can get her head out before it drops. The
sword of Damocles is hanging over my head. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
All right, okay, guys. So Emmett is not going to be with us next week. We're going to bring in the Terran version of Emmett. This is Prime Emmett.
Yes.
We're going to bring in.
I'm the peaceful one.
Yeah. So the alternate Emmett will be here. It's actually going to be Ema. So Ema, my wife, has not watched any of Discovery really. She's seen Saru, and I've said, "Hey, that's Dog Joe," and she goes, "Oh, that's cool." And then that's really all she's watched of it. Yeah. So I'm going to be watching.
That's all you need to know. She's going to watch Dog Jones.
She's going to watch the episode next week, having never seen it before, not even having seen the first part of this episode. And we're going to do a review of it next week. So that should be fun, just to fill in Emmett's place.
Yes. Apologies, there's urgent business for me to attend to.
Yeah, no issue at all. No issue at all. But thanks very much, guys. We'll see you next week. Make sure you subscribe, click the like button, all that sort of stuff. Bye-bye. You're watching Sci-Fi Saturday. Discussion and analysis of all your favorite sci-fi TV shows. Only on the Anthony James YouTube channel.